Hi, in this video we are going to continue the creation of the website. This is a list of suggestions how you should use the video. The notes for this video can be found at this URL, which is loaded here. Okay, so that's why we stopped, and we have the two files loaded here. The next step is to put in the header image to make it look like that. Okay, alright, let's do that. So inside the header, we want to create a container. Okay, the container is a Bootstrap class to help you to group things together. So we are going to say that. Okay, and that will give you a certain width. Okay. And we are going to put certain things in the container, in the header container. We are going to create a row and then divide them into two. Okay, in Bootstrap framework, each page would have 12 columns by default. You can divide them into 12 columns: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then you can divide them into different parts based on your preference. So for this case, I have a logo here and I have the navigation here, so it's good to divide this into two parts. So we'll divide them into 6 columns on the left and then 6 columns on the right. Will give you 12 columns. Okay. So we need to define a 6 column, and a 6 column will give you 12. And Bootstrap also allow you to define what kind of screen resolution you are actually looking at. So extra large column XL means that anything that is bigger than 1200 pixels, 1200 pixels, which my monitor is around 1600, 1680, so definitely that is on the extra large. But anything that is below extra large, that will be something slightly different. Okay, so let's try that. We'll do a 6 and 6. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to say create a row and for that row we are going to create a 6 and another 6, and we let's don't give it name first. Okay, so this is a 6 column. As you can see here, this is correspond to that, and this is for design for screen bigger than 1200 pixels. Alright, and then we need to put something inside. I'm going to put the first thing we are going to put is image, which is index 03. Index 03 is this one, which is your logo. And the next thing we are going to put is index 06, which is your navigation. Eventually we will change the navigation to code, but right now we just use the image. Okay. Alright. This one have an image fluid class so that you hold this when you resize the screen. Save your work, Ctrl S to save, or you can always file save all. Okay, and then come over here and do a reload, you realize you added this and that there, and it is okay. We need to do a lot more work than that, but right now, if the screen resolution is bigger than 1200, it will be 2. If it's less than 1200, they will collapse into 1. So automatically they will collapse. So that's the power of Bootstrap. Okay. All right. So let's see what's going on. Okay. So let's move on a little bit. And we want to add a little bit of obviously this does not look like this, so we need to change the background color and all that. And for easy, we are going to create another class called logo. Later we are going to, so that we can format the logo, and then we're going to another class called navigation, so we can format that. Okay. All right. And then we are going to go back to style.css. So before we move on, we want to change this image to a link so that when you click on it, it actually go back to the first page. So let's change this to a link. Save your work. Control S to save. Come over here, and when you click on this, it actually become a link. Well, this one is not a link. You can see the cursor actually changes to a hand. Okay, now let's do a little bit of formatting in the styles. The first thing we want to do is we create a margin for the header. Like an 8-pixel margin. So there's a little bit of space here, and then you center to align the stuff. Next thing you want to do is you want to change the background of the header container to the background that is this color is the same as the background color here. So you can always use eyedropper tool. Sorry, where's my eyedropper? You can always use the eyedropper tool to find a color, look at the color, copy the number, you know, and then put it inside. I'm just skipping everything, so save here. Reload. As you can see, the color changes. Okay. And the next thing I want to do is to say the logo. This logo here, I want to put it at the correct location. So you have to come here and measure the distance, okay, from the top. For example, what's the padding here? So you can use a tool called a ruler and click from here and press the shift key when you click here, so they will create a straight line. They will tell you that this is 14 pixels. Actually, I clicked a little bit wrong. It should be 15 pixels. Let's try that again. So ruler, from here, press the shift key. To draw a straight line, it will say height is 15 pixels. So there are 15 pixels from here to here. If you remember the way you draw your guys, this 15 pixel here. So the padding top is 15 pixels, and padding bottom, you want to create a padding from here to here. You know, that would be like. So what are the what's the padding? What's the height here? Height is 16 pixels here. Okay, and then the padding to the left, you want it to be like 15 pixels. Right? Okay, so on and so forth. So, but sometimes you want to make changes after you feedback things to the client. So remember this, you get feedback from the client. Remember in 22, we show this to the client, and one of the feedback people may give you is, oh, the padding here is too narrow. Well, how about change it to 30? You know, that kind of feedback. You know, I don't like 15, I want it to be 30. So we'll look at that later, how to do this. But meanwhile, let's just quickly get the logo done. Okay. So here, and we say our container, our row, our large 6 logo. So our container, our row, our large 6 logo is in the same class, so there's no space here. Whereas for descendants, there's space. Okay, there's no space here. Padding top is 15. Remember, we measured the top here was 15, bottom was 16. So top is 15, bottom is 16. Padding left, somebody want to increase it to 30. Text alignment to the right, padding right is 30. Okay, this is actually this code is actually for smaller browser windows like an iPad or something. Okay, all right, save your work. Come over here and reload. You get it fixed this way, which is very close to 15 and 16 and 30 and so on, and all the good stuff. Okay. All right. And the next thing we want to do is that, so you do the same measurement here. Padding top obviously is 15. If you want it to be higher, you will be 15. Okay, if you want to be lower, you will be 22. Okay, and then the padding bottom will be 40. Okay, and padding right and the text alignment right. Okay, let's try that. Okay, so let's try that. So this will be column 6 navigation, which is the class we created here. And padding top, padding bottom, padding right, and text alignment save. Reload, you get that. You can always zoom in. Okay, you cannot. All right, so if you want to change a couple of things, okay, for example, I think this is actually 22, so if you put this 22, save your work, and reload, you realize this will be actually lower. Okay, but that is closer to what you did in the Photoshop. All right. Sometimes you can actually make changes when you code, and you say that, hey, I don't really like the alignment here. I want to move it up a little bit. So what you can do is you can actually just change the padding to like 15. Padding top to 15, you can actually move this up to align with the top. So maybe that looks better. It's slightly different from the Photoshop, but sometimes you can make a little bit of changes here. You don't really need to change the padding bottom below, because later we are going to code, and the code text is actually bigger than when we type the text is actually bigger than the image. So I'm not going to change the padding bottom for now. Okay, that's a good place to stop. So we have our little header done, which is very close to this one. Okay, with a little bit of changes that we made. All right, that's a good place to stop. Thanks for watching. Bye.